I tried flipping the pancake in the pan. Didn't work. It was too delicate, and there was like all kinds of problems, and I truly thought that defeat was upon me. And I said to my colleague, Sarah Jampel, I said, Sarah, I don't think it's going to happen. If this next one doesn't work, we might have to talk about going back to just using the batter in individual pancakes, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I really had this dream of this giant pancake. And Sarah said, what about putting it in the oven? And I was like, an oven pancake? She said, I've never heard anybody say those words before. And I was like, Sarah, you're a goddamn genius. Okay, the first thing that I've done is mix together all-purpose flour and cornmeal. If you're using more finely ground cornmeal, keep all of the measurements the same. It will totally work exactly as written. You just won't get the little bits of cornmeal, which I like. So look for stone ground cornmeal. You should be able to find it in any supermarket. This recipe, I played around a lot with the leaveners, and I ended up with an entire tablespoon of baking powder and then just a little bit of baking soda, half of a teaspoon. The other thing that I'm doing that looks weird and seems weird is instead of adding my dry ingredients to my flour mixture, I'm adding the dry ingredients. That was sugar, and this is salt, also a healthy amount of salt, but you need it, directly into the eggs and then whisking that together first. Another part of the inspiration and something that I'm doing a little bit differently, starting with the wet ingredients and then adding the dry, which reminded me of Claire Saffit's reverse creaming cake technique, which I actually don't know if this is truly connected to, but it was in my head. So I did it, and it came out great. So that's that. You have your eggs, sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda, and I'm just whisking it until everything is like completely dissolved and the eggs are a little bit lighter and they look a little bit shiny. Next thing I'm going to do is this is similar, if you've probably done this in cake batters as well, adding half of your dry ingredients and half of your wet ingredients and combining that and then adding the half and the half again. Again, I don't actually know why I'm doing it. I just know that I did it this way from the very beginning and it came out great. So why mess it up? You know what I mean? I would not say that in the end I'm making a cakey pancake, because actually the pancake is very light and very floofy. It's got a great texture. I think that the leavener is really important in this because of the cornmeal. It doesn't dissolve the way that flour will dissolve. It retains its integrity and it absorbs that liquid, and the little beads of the cornmeal kind of plump up, so they're heavy. So the leavener is really there to make sure that the pancake itself doesn't feel wet or gummy or leaden. So this is the other half, and on this addition, I'm also going to pour in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And I want to mix it just until it's combined, but a few lumps are okay. You don't want to over whip pancake batter because it will get a little bit tough. So this makes a more tender, lighter pancake to just have it combine, and that's really all it takes. Okay, and then now obviously we need the blueberries. It's a cup of blueberries. I tried it with a cup and a half. It became all wet in the middle and it wasn't nice. Switching to a spoon, because if I tried to whisk this, all the blueberries would get stuck in the metal parts, you know? So that wouldn't work. So that's it, batter's done. You can tell already it's very active. Baking powder kind of leavens on its own as soon as it's combined with a wet thing, and that is very much happening here. There's a lot of bubbles, there's a lot of action Jackson, so you know it's going to be even lighter, and I don't want to wait too long so that all of this initial air dissipates. So going over to the stove, I'm starting by combining butter and a little bit of oil. The reason why I'm combining butter and oil is because the oil is there to raise the smoke point of the fat mixture. If it's just butter, for the amount of time that this has to sit on top of the stove before going into the oven and then being in the oven, the butter would burn. Having the oil there gives me the best of both worlds. I'm getting all the flavor of the butter and the browning properties of the butter, like I do want that. And I want to wait just until some of this foaming subsides, but not too much. And that's just a sign that the fat mixture is hot. I'm over medium-high. And now I'm going to add the batter. You can just pour it all. You don't have to move the batter around the pan. Just pour it into the middle of the pan. and it will get to the sides. So at this stage, this really reminds me a lot of making a frittata. And in fact, it looks kind of frittata-ish. It's starting to bubble up around the edges. If I were making a frittata, though, I would be stirring vigorously like this whole time to make sure that the egg mixture was pretty uniform. I don't want to do that here. All I'm trying to do in this first stage is to make sure that the edge is totally set, that the pancake is starting to brown underneath, and I'm looking for a lot of bubbles to appear on the surface and actually break. So you can see that bubbling is actually the fat that we added to the pan and not the batter itself. We're really just getting browning on the one side that's in the bottom of the pan right now, and the heating up of the pan is happening on the stovetop before it goes in. The other thing that's happening is it's looking a little bit more puffed. I can see that the edge is pretty set, this whole perimeter, and there's bubbles all across the surface, and a lot of them in the middle are starting to pop, which means that the batter is not only on the edges is it hot, but through the center too, starting to create larger and larger air bubbles that are rising to the surface. I'm gonna put it in the oven. Oh, it looks perfect. It's puffed, it's set, it's bright yellow from all that cornmeal. It's still bubbling around the sides. It's puffy, but it's not like uncooked batter on top, but it's really tender, tenderoni. It's flip outable, but it's also cooked through. And we had to be okay with the fact that this side doesn't see action as far as like being in contact with the pan. Very different from an ordinary pancake. So the reason why I like this, and I was attached to the idea of making one big one instead of using the batter and going back into individual pancakes, because this is great for brunch when you have a bunch of people over, or even just a family of 4, and you can't possibly get all the pancakes to come out at the same time, and then you keep them warm in the oven, but those oven warmed ones are never the same. All right, so now we have to do the flip. See? Just flop it out. And then you've got little blueberries, and it's really giant, and it's just got the most incredible color, and you can see the little flecks of the cornmeal, and it's totally cooked through, and you already forgot that the other side hadn't been browned, right? You see this and you forget everything. So the right amount of servings that we arbitrarily decided for this is 6. It is, tall. You're getting like the cake, like we put the cake back into pancake, you know what I mean? You kind of get a wedge of pancake. It's just all in the pronunciation. Cuts like a dream. Crispy on the edge. It's about right, I think. Ooh la la. I just have a feeling if I cut another wedge, I might get a friend. You know what I mean? We all need a friend. Everybody needs a friend. So one of the things I learned from one of my friends is that these toast very beautifully day after, or perhaps even 2 days after. So if you don't have the wherewithal to get through 6 wedges of your pancake on the day that it's made, you can cut it in wedges and put it in your toaster or your toaster oven, and apparently it's glorious. I haven't had it myself because every time I made it here, they disappeared. Would anybody care to join me for some pancake? Let's go, Rye. Rye had her hand up first. First up, best dressed. Oh, wow, a whole party. Have you not had giant jam pancake?
No,
I haven't
really
tried it yet.
Okay. Do you like butter and syrup?
Sure.
Great. That one's already buttered and syrup.
Can I use this?
Yeah, of course. Do you like butter and syrup?
butter.
Would you like to self-butter?
Ew.
This one will just be mine. Do you guys like it?
Okay.
For reals?
Yeah,
I'm having a sleepover party with my girlfriends on Friday, so I'm going to make
Perfect.
this in the morning.
Perfect scenario.
Can you give me that?
I think you could use also blackberries, raspberries, strawberries if you cut it into
No
pieces.
chocolate chips, according to you.
Never.
Why?
It's just like so sweet.
It is so
But somehow the blueberries aren't. Are you going to bring it to a friend?
No, I'm going to eat it myself.
Oh, good.
Wait, no, that's so big, Carla.
Okay. Oh my God. That's like
No, I'm not sure. I'm not
my grandma
bringing this
used to
anybody.
say, just as much as you can fit on the end of my knife. That's how she would say for dessert.
Really?
Just as much as you could. We were like, you're getting a piece. I'm really glad you like it.
I love it.
Syrup?
Yes, please. This is perfect. That's great. Thank you.
It's like Sunday. Every day is Sunday around here. I hope you guys enjoyed giant blueberry pancake or big ol' blueberry pancake or blueberry oven pancake. We're going to just get a little trademark registered, certified on that one. But really, yeah, one of my favorite recipes I've worked on in a long time. Enjoy. Like most of my great ideas, the idea for this pancake came about during a really nice long hot shower one evening at home. And this pancake was born from the creative juices that floweth like the hot water upon my weary bones.